Veronica Dare walks over to a large circular holotable. She places a Recon-class Oni agent helmet among the table's screen. She presses a glowing yellow icon on the small screen on the edge of the table. The now activated holotable lights up the dark and largely abandoned command center with a flush of attention-grabbing orange images that now project themselves from the table. A dust-covered ODST falls in behind her.
So, is this supposed to be our date? The burning planet certainly sets the mood.
The ODST walks past Veronica and stands on the left side of the holotable, looking up at the planet's holographic image. Veronica looks over towards the sarcastic trooper.
Now's not the time for another one of these pointless little arguments, Buck.
Buck replies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you work on Oni's time.
Buck starts slowly walking around the holotable. Veronica snaps back.
Oni doesn't instantly make somebody a bad person. Why do all of you jarheads think that?
Buck replies.
Oh, sure it doesn't. Remind me how good of a person you are the next time you're ordered to leave a squad behind for a stupid compad.
This compad has enough intel to plan a good enough defense for if the Earth is ever discovered, and it's more important than any of us here.
Buck stops and slams his fist against the holotable.
Then why is that thing not with the rest of the ships that flee the damn planet?
He points towards the compad that's now inserted into the table. Veronica scowls at him and replies.
This station has the only equipment around left that can decode it. It would take months for Oni to do it personally. Some information the UNSC has is kept under tight security in case it falls into the wrong hands.
Another ODST walks into the command center.
Gunny, we got a problem.
A gruff voice states. The ODST's helmet was tucked under his arm. It had an orange stripe down the center of its top half, and what looked to be teeth spray painted underneath the visor. Buck looks over to the intruding soldier.
What is it, Dutch? The Spartan giving you any trouble?
No. We've been checking the station security footage. More coveys dropped in at Shuttle Bay 4, but it only looks to be 2 of them.
Great.
Buck turns and walks back towards Dutch.
Just the 2? You sure?
He asks as they both walk towards the room Dutch just came from.
The Spartans seem to mention that one of them looked like a zealot.
The door in front of them slides open horizontally. They both regroup with the other 3 ODSTs and the Spartan. The Spartan stands waiting, with a M837 assault rifle in hand, facing Buck and Dutch as they walk in. Buck looks up to the Spartan's silver visor and sees himself in the reflection.
Well, Lieutenant, what do you need from us?
Buck says exhausted. Buck then looks towards the other 3 ODST that were recuperating on some storage containers to his right. One with a red chest plate and a very unique left shoulder plate is tinkering with a satchel of explosives. 6 speaks up.
2 elites, one in zealot armor, the other a commander in silver armor.
Buck turns his attention away from the demolitions expert of the group back to 6. 6 continues.
They don't send commanders on scouting parties. They're looking for something important.
Buck looks down to his feet and mutters in frustration.
Veronica.
Dutch, standing by Buck's side, speaks up.
We can't leave until Dare's done decrypting whatever she needs, right?
Dutch looks to Buck. Buck looks back up at the armoured super soldier again in revelation.
So, you gonna spring a trap?
6 looks over to the red-plated ODST now walking over to them. Mickey.
Hey, Gunny! Check this little firecracker out.
The ODST chucks the makeshift explosive towards Buck. In a slight panic, Buck leans his body closer to the airborne bomb and catches it with both hands.
Jesus, Mickey, you trying to kill us all?
The Spartan watches the ODST gunnery sergeant as his face has now turned a pale white. Mickey replies,
Relax, it's safe. Just don't flick that switch or there might be a new viewport in the station. Haha,
Mickey chuckles. Dutch looks at the device and then back to Mickey.
What the hell did you even make this thing out of?
Mickey replies proudly.
I just broke apart some frag grenades, found some spare parts lying around from a few smashed up consoles, managed to use the pieces to make a timed explosive device. Standard demolition engineering.
Six remains stood like a tree embedded into the ground, completely motionless. 6.
I asked him to make it. I have a plan of attack, but I'm gonna need some of your help.
An ODST leaning against one of the storage containers with a yellow chest plate and blue visor makes a comment.
And here I was thinking you Spartans were supposed to be humanity's best.
The ODST snorts behind his translucent visor. 6 looks over at the antagonizing ODST. The trooper puts out a fist, facing the other ODST next to him. The trooper sat next to him, without turning his gaze from 6, bumps his fist with his fellow Helljumper. When the Spartans started making their first appearances within the UNSC, the ODSTs was very wary of the augmented soldiers. In one incident, a group of ODSTs was ordered in a fighting ring with a Spartan 2 by their commanding officer. During this time, the Spartan 2s were still learning how to use their augmented bodies. In an unfortunate situation of jealousy, the ODSTs in that ring were either killed or completely incapacitated, leaving them with the only option to retire from the UNSC. This ODST looked to be a little smaller than the trooper that had recently made a sly comment to 6. His armour looked relatively unscathed. The scratches that covered everyone else's armour was much more prominent compared to the slim-framed trooper. His armour was also very standard, no unique additions, marks or colours. He must have only been on reach for a short while, 6 thinks to himself. Buck snaps back in frustration.
Max, any more comments from you, I'll put you on bomb duty.
The ODST doesn't reply, and simply crosses his arms and looks away, like a scolded child. Dutch speaks with 6. So they must know where the data is, right? 6 nods his head. An echo of heavy footsteps reverb down a desolate steel grey corridor. Along the corridor are viewports that show the dark vacuum of space, as well as a burning planet covered with huge purple ships that scan over the surface.
You're sure the human came here?
A brilliant silver-armoured elite questions a bulky zealot in deep red armour, walking beside him, concuss rifle in hand. The zealot replies,
Yes, Commander. The female brought the data we need to this facility, along with a group of imps.
The zealot says, finishing his sentence with slight aggression rising in his voice.
Ah, then it shall be an even fight.
The elites continue making their way down a corridor and make a left turn onto another long corridor. A door with red lights glow, sealed at the end of the small human walkway.
The information we require must be behind there.
A hand with 2 fingers and 2 thumbs points towards the door. The commander analyzes the human structure.
The door is sealed.
The commander proclaims. His zealot replies.
Perhaps we can find another way around.
The zealot elite looks to his commander as if searching for guidance.
No time. They most likely know we're here. By the time we find a way around, they could evacuate this place.
Rtas Vadum looks down to his sheathed energy sword that sits on his right armour-plated leg. The zealot, in confusion, asks,
What would you have me do, Commander?
The commander's energy sword engages in his hand, and an electric blue light reflects off of his silver armour.
Pass me your blade. Once I cut through, have your rifle at the ready.
The zealot passes the small handle to his commander. Rtas activates the second energy sword and plunges them both deep into the door's reinforced metal. An electrical vaporizing sound begins to echo down the hallway, and the metal begins to glow a cherry red, and then slowly begins morphing into a brilliant yellow glow. The door's now molten metal slowly starts falling to the floor, splashing out sparks of globular metal. The commander slides both the swords downwards, slowly creating 2 new seams within the door. He removes the blades and once again plunges both back into the deteriorating door on the left side, sliding the white-hot swords horizontally across, creating a melted square into the door. Rtas deactivates the energy swords, freeing them from the metal. The commander turns back to his zealot to see his rifle pointed at the ready. The commander nods and his zealot in return nods back, confirming that he's ready. The silver Sangheili activates both swords, raising his left leg and boots the hunk of destroyed metal, launching the plate of steel into the room and leaving a square entry for the hunting party. Rtas jumps through into the command station with both blades in hand. His zealot follows closely behind, concuss rifle at the ready. The dark room is lit up by the glow of blue plasma from the energized swords.
Empty. They must be on the run.
The zealot stares. The commander moves towards the center console.
This device is still active. The humans were using it for something. Their hideous language desecrates the screen.
The zealot moves over to another doorway within the command center.
Commander, it looks like they've moved through.
An explosion rocks the station, and the zealot is blasted against the doorframe, his torso and face being completely shattered and melted, his blue energy shields completely disintegrating. Rtas Vadum stumbles and falls onto one knee, his swords deactivating. The elite's hearing rings from the vicious explosion. He looks up through the silver-coloured smoke to see a squad of imps moving into the room with their tiny weapons in hand, searchlights attached. Before the commander can stand and activate his swords, he notices a much bigger grey human walking in behind them, with its rifle searching around the room. The commander knew he was outmatched, and in his current position, if he attacked, he would most likely be taken down rather swiftly by the now present demon. With quick thinking, Rtas revealed himself from beneath the smoke, standing back on both feet. And just before the grey demon can react, he grabs the closest imp by its hand and lifts it up in front of himself. The small human is dangling from the elite's outstretched arm by one hand, his other on one of the deactivated swords, pointing it towards the imp's helmet.
Veronica!
Buck shouts in horror. 6 commands.
Do not fire your weapon.
All the soldiers now trained onto the hostage situation in front of them. The ODST with a blue visor holds a pistol and has the weapon trained on the elite.
Gunny, I have a shot.
Stand down, Corporal.
Veronica, stay calm.
Gunny, I can take him.
6 again commands the eager ODST.
Stand down, Corporal.
The Helljumper snaps back at the calm Spartan.
I don't take orders from you, you freak.
Buck's weapon is aimed and shaking in a mix of horror and determination. He blanks everyone and keeps comforting Veronica.
We'll get you free, I promise.
Mickey chimes in.
Its energy shields are going to regen.
Dutch replies.
It's too risky!
Buck shouts in desperation at the Silver Elite.
Put her down, Henchad.
I'm taking the shot, Gunny.
No, wait!